Good morning, guys. It is now 4:45 in the morning. I am up earlier than God today on the way to work, but I thought it'd be a great opportunity to answer part 2 of our airline interview series. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight.
Didn't even get to cross.
So what's up, everybody? I'm coming to you. Today's my off day, so I decided to sort of dress down a little bit and talk to you about part 2 of our series on how to be a flight attendant here in the United States. So I'm going to walk you through the interview of what it currently is, because I did speak to some newer flight attendants and get their input as far as what the interview process is like now. So it all starts with the application. So you put in your application, that goes to a company that'll source through everything, and if your qualifications closely match to what's going on for the company, they're going to email you and assign you a webcam interview. On the webcam interview, what's going to happen is they're going to ask you a few questions. Basically, they put a question up on the monitor. You read the question, and then you have about 45 seconds to answer back. And it's going to be, I believe, about 6 or 8 questions. And in these questions, they're going to ask you things as far as, tell me of a situation where you had a problem with a coworker. Tell me of a situation where you had a problem with a customer. Tell me of a situation where you had a problem with a supervisor. Questions of that sort. Now these are to be answered in the STAR method, and on the next part 3 I'm going to talk about the STAR method and how important it is to actually answer everything step by step, how the STAR method is done, because that's what's going to help you with the interview. Now on the day of your interview, you're going to get an email giving you a few days to choose from for a face-to-face interview. If you're from out of town, you'll get a hotel and a flight to get you to Atlanta, because that's where my company does their interviews, in Atlanta. So they'll fly you to Atlanta, give you a hotel and everything. If you live there, just show up. Normally they do interviews either at 7 o'clock in the morning or at noon. So what happens is you show up, and I suggest, me personally, you show up at least 45 minutes before your scheduled show time. Being on time in the airlines is something that is very, 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 very important. So you'll show up, and they'll have you in a little gathering holding area. And that holding area, that's where all the interviewees are going to show up before the interview time. Take this time to talk and get to know the people that are around you. See what they have to offer, see where they're coming from, what they did before wanting to be a flight attendant, and smile. Ladies and gentlemen, a smile is the most important thing in this job. Don't give them the fake kind of smile. Give them a good smile. Give them a genuine smile. Look everybody in the eye. Talk to them clearly. Be as how would I say this? Be as positive as possible about you getting that job. Remember, the only thing standing between you and the job is your attitude. And trust me, these interviewers, they're trained to pick that up. My company puts in a lot of money on the hiring process, because they want to make sure they're hiring the best of the best. All right. So once you're there, at the assigned time, there's going to be a group of flight attendants that are going to come down and welcome you. They're going to say something along the lines of, "Welcome. Please have your documents ready," which will be your passport, your resume, things of that sort. You'll have that ready, and they're going to give you some envelopes. You're going to put them in the envelope, and then they're going to walk you across the street to the actual interview building. You'll go up in the elevator to the 4th floor, and when you step out of the elevator, the halls are going to be lined with all different kind of flight attendants. My advice to you is exit that elevator and smile the whole time. Shake everybody's hand, introduce yourself, make sure that they know who you are and your name before the end of the day. You're going to get to know everybody. Then all of a sudden, they're going to bring you into this room. There's going to be snacks on one side. There's going to be 3 ladies that are going to be with human resources. They're going to be looking over your documents and making sure that everything is up to par. Then a group of flight attendants is going to come in. They're probably going to sing a song. I believe it's New York, New York, if it hasn't changed. And then they're going to walk you into an auditorium. Inside the auditorium, they're going to show you a video about what the life is like of a flight attendant. Then they're going to divide everybody up into groups. 3 groups to be exact. First group will go and do the face-to-face interview. Face-to-face interview won't last longer than 15 minutes. I mean, it goes by so quick. They're either going to take you to another place that's called Fireside Chat, where they're going to have questions that you can ask the flight attendants, and they're going to ask you questions as well, just to see how you interact. And then they're going to take you on the 3rd step, they're going to take you to your measurements. Now, in the United States, there are no restrictions as far as weight and height. The only thing they say is that you have to be weight and height proportionate. And you must fit in the jump seat without any assistance, and you must be able to reach the overhead bins. That is the only thing that's required here in the United States. In the interview, you're going to sit down, and it's going to be a flight attendant, and then it's going to be an HR representative. They're going to ask you 6 questions. And again, STAR method is so important. Part 3, I'm going to talk about the STAR method and how to answer a question correctly in the STAR method form. So they'll question you the 6 questions. And then the final question, the 7th question will be, why do you want to be a Delta flight attendant? This question you must practice it before you get there. You must practice it, because with this question, it will set you apart from everybody else. Really think about why you're doing this. And trust me, I love people and I love traveling. That doesn't work. That's why we're all there. All right? So be genuine with your response and really think about what you're going to say. Then they're going to give you a card. And then this card, they're going to say, take about a minute or 2 to read it while they finish filling out some paperwork. And on the card, you're going to get a scenario. My scenario when I went through was, you're working a flight from Atlanta to Miami, and it is the Orange Bowl, and you have fans from the 2 teams that are playing on the aircraft. Make a onboard announcement as far as how you would greet these passengers and promote the company. So just think about that, and think about times you've flown, or even the day you flew in. Listen to the announcement, see how it needs to be formatted, and execute. You're going to tell them that, then they're going to escort you out of the room. Then you'll go to the fireside chat. At the fireside chat, there will be questions on top of a table, which if nobody has a question, they're going to say, all right, we'll grab a question, and it's going to ask you a question about maybe what's your favorite destination in the world, where would you like to go in the world, what kind of airplane would you like if you don't know your airplanes. I mean, everything is found on the internet. Go to your company. Mine is Delta, so go to delta.com and look at the type of airplanes that we have and see what you think might like you. Remember that and say it. Just be as interactive as possible. You know, interact with the flight attendants there. Ask them questions. Like I said, make sure they know you before the end of the day. Then you're going to be taken to the measurements. In the measurements, they're going to ask you to take off your shoes and reach the overhead bin. Once you do that, they're going to say, put your shoes on, stand right there. They're going to take a picture of you. Then they have a jump seat. On that jump seat, you're going to sit down and they're going to have a seatbelt. Let me tell you something. That seatbelt is a lot smaller than the regular seatbelts on a jump seat. That is for a particular reason. That is how we weed people out. So be honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. And I mean, I really don't want to be mean when I say this, but save yourself the embarrassment of not getting the job because maybe you're too big to fit on the jump seat. I had a friend and she went to the interview and unfortunately the seatbelt was the only thing that failed her. Guys, trust me, I got nervous when I went to sit down, and I'm not a big guy. And when I went to sit down, that seatbelt is a lot smaller than any other seatbelt that I've worn anywhere in any airline. So you can do that. Then they're going to bring everybody back to the main room, and they're going to say something along the lines of 100,000 people applied. You're lucky to be here for the interview. Then they're going to take you back into the auditorium, run the spill over. They'll select a few people, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. Those few people that get selected, they will get the job offer. But if you do not get selected, do not be discouraged. I repeat, do not be discouraged. That does not necessarily mean, I'm sorry, I'm sitting outside and there's bugs everywhere. Do not be discouraged, because they still select some of the people that don't get selected in person. They still are selected afterwards. The only key that will let you know that you're not selected at all will be a letter from the company that says you are able to apply in 6 months, thanks but no thanks. Until then, you will keep a positive attitude, because you just never know. I want you to be as successful as possible. Please, if you have any more questions, leave them down in the comments. I try to answer as many comments as I can. Again, be patient with me, because I do have my full-time job that I'm doing plus this, so I'm trying to keep up with as much as I can. I love you guys a lot. I'm gonna try to make you as successful and as ready as possible for your interview with the company of your choice. If you're going to another company, leave it down in the comments, because I have friends in all companies, so I can find out what it is and I'll make a video just for you for that company. Please, I ask that you give it a thumbs up, share it on anywhere you can, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere that you can share this. Please share this video. And again, if you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. My family really appreciate it. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.